Got a new graphic up there. Check out that graphic.
That is glorious.
Yeah, I made that.
I assumed one of us made it. It wasn't me.
Oh, just in case you know.
Okay.
Speaking of which, how long are you going to take on this comic of yours? It's been like 12 years.
It's been 84 years. Okay, I'm working on that Rose Titanic timeline. It's been 84 years.
It's a deep cut, Brandon.
I know.
Right now, we got a better chance of finding that comic as we do the Heart of the Ocean.
Right, but I mean, like the Titanic, this podcast will
sink before it really gets started. So here we go.
You want to know something? I couldn't think of the word sink. That's why I paused. I was like, that's what I was getting at, but I couldn't for some reason.
Do you wash the dishes in your house?
Sometimes.
That's why. I bet you know the word fridge.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And donuts.
Mm-hmm. You know the word cardiac arrest.
Oh, I feel it. I feel it all the time lately.
Yeah. Fun fact, everyone. Brandon almost died 84 times this year. The same amount of times as it took for him years to start the comic book.
That's what delayed it so much. That every time, every time something seemed like it was gonna go good, my body was like, "Hey, you should die," and I'm like, "Oh shit! All right."
It's like not only should you die, we're thinking sooner than later. You know?
Yeah. It's like, can we speed this shit up? Enjoy me while I last, everybody. Enjoy me while I last. Well, this has been fun.
You better entertain people, Brandon, for the pre-show because I have to spread the podcast word around. So you're gonna have to lead here. Heavy lifting, Brandon.
I don't think I can do that. I'm a small guy. I'm a small stature kind of guy. I don't think I can carry the weight of the SketchCraft name. It's too much. Man, I cannot think of the words today. I was gonna say notoriety. Notarized. Notarized. We have too much. We got too much traction for me to think of those big words.
We got a hello from Procrastus in the YouTube chat. Hey there, how you doing? We got 4 minutes till the show starts here. Little pre-show. Little Brandon's learning how to talk again.
That is, it's been a while. When we take a little break from these podcasts, my normal state of flow gets thrown off.
That didn't even make any sense.
I know. It's I'm not tired or anything. I swear, I'm good to go. It's just
you better wake up, Brandon.
No, I'm wide awake. I'm awake.
Like if you're gonna risk it, if you're gonna risk the heart disease with the energy drinks, it better be when we're doing podcasts.
I've given those up. I didn't. I gave them up, and
Let's say that for the show. Hold on. Let's write that down. Let's talk about your energy drink consumption. Let's not give it all away. We got 3 minutes till the show, Brandon.
Oh my, indeed.
You like this? We are now live streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. You like how it worked out?
And Facebook?
And Facebook.
Wow.
I'm going to also get you Instagram going soon, but I have to do that through my phone because I still don't do RMTP streaming.
Gotcha.
It means you can't stream from your PC, right?
It figures the one time you finally get like all these things cohesively going is the time that I show up and I'm just like blah 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 blah. We live in a tiny planet in a big universe. Just horrible non good talkage here.
Non-good talkage here.
Non-good talkage tonight.
Do you know anything about wind?
I know a lot about windmills.
Okay, just checking. How can you not know anything about wind but know anything about windmills? You know what I mean? Like, do the math. Yeah. I don't know anything about video games, but I know a lot about Sony PlayStation. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Raven King? Yeah, bandwidth is good. Bandwidth is good. So now when they go, we got 2 minutes to show, folks. 2 minutes to show. So when they go, Rob, if you would only stream on this, then, That's how you'd be famous. I'm like, yeah, I don't. It's not gonna work, but it's cool. It's cool. I think this is the first time I've ever streamed to Facebook, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. How's your bandwidth?
It's good.
Rob has what you don't know is Rob has like 84 giant servers in his basement. It's like a EA Sports at his house. He's got it all running. He's got it all going. That's how he can do so much. He can be on his Cintiq, Twitter, streaming, everything all at once.
1 minute to show. Say something else that's really smart, Brandon. It's Christmas. Better mean it.
Oh, happy holidays? I don't know. I got nothing for you guys. I know.
You prepared.
I did not prepare whatsoever. Not one bit. Like usual. I just show up and perform. I like one of those athletes that don't stretch. You know what I mean? I just show up and I catch touchdowns.
Christmas wars rage on. All right, everybody. 30 seconds to show. Brandon, why don't you go ahead and bow out, and I'm gonna move us on. See you on a few. Megashow. SketchCraft Megashow.
It's time for the Mega Show, baby. You know what's up. You're getting all that good, hot, fun, mega stuff.
Hot fun mega stuff.
Hot fun mega stuff.
Wow.
I was thinking about food.
Yeah,
I don't know what you bots were thinking
15
about.
seconds. We've already derailed the show.
I
Congratulations.
was thinking about some hot, sweaty food, some good, delicious cheeseburgers that fuel me and my rage to talk to Rob and entertain all of you with this mega awesomeness.
Tater thoughts. Our intros are so informative, Brandon. Like, I learned so much.
We give it to you good. You know what you're gonna get. You're getting it hot.
Oh no!
From the tater.
From the tater
hot.
to your from the taters to the players. Ooh, Mega Show, Mega Show. SketchCraft.
That's how we do it on the Mega Show.
We got to say this 7 times so people remember the name of the show.
Hey, it's the Mega Show.
Mega Show is about to start. See here, Brandon, are you back?
Yes, I am.
It's weird. I can't hear the audio when the new video plays in the stream. So, all right. Well, I will have to see what's going on there. Check out the new room, Brandon.
Look at that setup. It caught me off guard as well, man.
It's Christmas in the Sketch Cave. Look at all my stuff, right?
Is cool.
This ain't nothing. Like in the other room is where I got the turtles. I got the turtles in there, and I'll have to take photos sometime and hope no one robs me.
I'm not gonna lie. The papers above your face that are hanging off the edge of your
those are deadlines.
They're. It's giving me anxiety how they're just randomly there.
Just about ready to fall out. That right there.
Just gonna fall on your Cintiq.
Yeah, that's. I gotta have that right near me when I'm working. So.
Oh goodness.
What's up? Everyone's in there. We got Armando.
Best your setup has looked.
Huh?
This is the best your setup has looked as far as your room and everything, and just coming together.
It's as if I spent money.
Right, just need a couple more things on the wall, and you're good to go.
It's as if I spent money, right? Like way too much. Like
the production value has gone up.
Right. So a lot of this too is getting. There's some other stuff in here that's getting reworked. I got a bunch of color pencil storage, and there's secondary level of arranging that has to be done. But I got this in the game room. You're going to be super impressed with. But yeah. So the papers, that's top secret stuff. But it's right there because I need access to it. So this is the new Sketch Cave. Hey, Brandon. It's been a long time. It's been a while since we've had you up here. You know, I've tried to do podcasts 3 or 4 times now, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
And every time I've canceled.
Yep.
It was like
you don't really give me much of a heads up either. So I'm like sitting here just like, should I go run errands? What should I do? And then you're just like, you just text me tomorrow, and then I won't hear from you the next day. I'm like, all right, well, I guess we'll eventually get to it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, one time my had to. So let's get everyone updated. Brandon, what's your life been like? What have you been up to?
Fucking hell. I mean, in a different way than yours has been. Mine has been medical problems. If you didn't listen to a previous cast, basically I played all sorts of hell with my newish doctor who didn't seem to want to get me better. And then she finally put me on some medicines for thyroid, hyperthyroidism, and high blood pressure because I felt like I was dying and having heart attacks and fatigued and just felt like death.
Fascinating.
And yes. Mm-hmm. And then she was supposed to do a follow-up on the medication. So I call and my doctor just left. She's like, they're like, yeah, she's not the primary doctor here anymore. So we might have a new primary at the end of January. I'm like, oh, cool. I'll just die in the meantime from.
She went to Ibiza. Is it Ibiza? What is that?
I took a pill and a.
Yeah. Mike Posner, right? You took a pill and
she called me. She was like, when I first started, she's like, yeah, get back to me. Come back and see me next week. Well, I'm pretty sure she didn't plan it last minute because she was on vacation and traveling the Mediterranean and all the wonderful places while I was dying. So finally, I got a hold of my previous doctor who's at a different location. He's like, well, I could see you in like 2.5 weeks. I'm like, cool. So I got to go through this whole thing again because I'm sure he'll want to run his own blood tests.
Yeah, this is the best story I've ever heard.
Anyways.
Glad you shared it.
Hey, it ain't easy being Mega Potato, okay?
Okay. So that's what you've been up to?
And working on some art.
Is Santa Potato visiting the family this year?
Santa don't come to the ghetto.
No, that's the shirt I want in the SketchCraft merch. We got to get the Teespring set up, and we'll go Santa Potato don't come to the ghetto.
There you go. True.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
We ain't getting no gifts. Nope. Nothing.
Well, I've been busy. So other than Ibiza. Thank you, Raven King.
Yeah.
Got to keep tabs on that chat room, Brandon.
Sorry.
Get one job. So I have been busy. First off, a big shout out to all of the Game Cave backers who said, Rob, you can keep the money. We don't want a refund. There was a good amount of people who did that, and thank you, because that money I took out on a loan, that's with interest. So yeah. I got to pay that back. Like a certain amount, like it starts to rack up. So hopefully I'll have that taken care of sooner than later. So that was super helpful. And then there were a bunch who were like, man, I really wish I could, but I need the money. And I'm like, no problem. So they've been taken care of. Everyone's all caught up. So far. So not everyone's checked in. It's gonna take a while. But we're doing pretty good there. And on a little bit of a down note, my best buddy in the world, my cat, Reese's, passed away 2 weeks ago. So that was a bummer. I made a post on it, my little dude. So I got my wine up here. Just want a little shout out to my buddy Reese's. First Christmas. I haven't been with him since 13, 14 years. It's crazy. So I miss you, dude. I miss my little dude, man. It's tough.
I actually liked your cat, and I usually hate cats, but yours was cool as shit. You know, every time I came in, he was friendly to me. He wasn't a dick. He didn't try to bite me. He, you know, I actually liked him. I'm not just saying that because he's your cat. If I didn't like your cat, I would tell you, you know. But I usually hate cats. I'm a very big dog person. But your cat was nice. He never was like a dick to me, like some cats where they bite your hand and you're just like, dude, what? Why? So, yeah, good cat.
Yeah, he was a good dude, man. We fought the cancer hard. I gotta say, we fought. Did everything we
Yeah.
could, but there just came a point, you know, where it was like, can't go on any further. And I refused to let him go at the vet. So there is a local service, a vet and a tech come out, gentle goodbyes, and they, you know, get to do it all here at the house in his favorite little spot near the fireplace. And so, yeah, it was a real bummer around it. So that was the night I was supposed to do podcasts. I was like, yeah, I'm not up for this right now.
Yeah.
You know, there's waterworks everywhere, folks. So, and now, you know, like my puppy, she's only been around she's 7 now, so she's only known him around, you know, so she's going through the where's the cat thing, and, you know,
Right.
as best as I can tell. So there's some level of depression a little bit, but we're doing what we can. So we got some new toys, and yeah, so a little bit of a bummer there. On the fun side, what is the fun side? I got some commissions coming up, Brandon. I got more work. Can you believe it?
No.
So we're going to be doing some color pencils, some digital character commissions, and a sketchbook here real soon on the weekends. So if you've been wondering, Rob, when are you going to stream some traditional art? The weekends is when I'm going to do it, in the mornings between 7 and 8 a.m. through 12 to 2 p.m. moving forward, unless I'm under the weather. And that's just because I don't want to drip snots all over your art. I remember I worked on a commission once, and I was live streaming, and the guy's like, dude, you don't have to be sick all over my art. I'm like, you're right. I'll just put that over there and go get better. So that's coming up soon. That's super exciting. And then what else? I got some Oculus Quest stuff in. Oh, so Oculus Quest did a thing where they added a link cable option, so you can plug it in with the cable to your PC and play games designed for the Rift on Steam Store or Oculus Store. And so there's a bunch of games on there that obviously aren't available on Quest. I still prefer it being wireless, but there's this chess game. I think it's called like Magical Quest or something like that. It's got a weird name, but it's chess. But you're in like a tavern, and there's like a troll sitting across from you. You know,
Okay.
And like it's super moody, and you can go over there, pick up the pieces, and move them, and it's super minimal, but like it's so fucking cool, man. Like that's how I like to play chess now. And I'm like, you know, if they just put some money into this, like I can imagine like different creatures and travelers and adventurers coming in and out of the tavern while you're playing, and then maybe as it gets down to the wire, like more people get around. You know, like it'd be cool to buy drinks and like pretend to drink it, and then you get like all wobbly. You know, like when you get drunk in Skyrim and shit. Like, so I've been playing that game, like, and I've been trying to like reach out to those developers, but they don't seem to like care what I have to say. But but it's super fun. So I've been up in here in this room playing chess against a troll. I was at the barbershop today. I just hang out there when I got free time, and I was telling them today about. I'm like, what have you been doing, Rob? I'm like, well, I've been playing chess. They're like, oh yeah. I'm like, where? I'm like, well, against a troll. And they're like, looking at me, I'm like, yeah, like a troll, like for real troll, like an internet troll, like no, like a troll in VR. So it'd be cool, man, have like a little pet dragon flying around and shit, dude.
Raven King says so, like Hearthstone, but with chess,
like an actual chessboard. Yeah, you could just reach over and just play normal chess. Yeah,
I don't know how to play chess. I know how to play checkers. I'm a simple man.
Okay, Spuds. We're gonna have to work on that.
I'm a simple.
You don't have to be good, but I think we gotta fix your edge.
I could beat you in checkers. Or wait, yeah, checkers.
You don't even know the game you play, right?
I'll
Special
show
needs
you.
Potato today, right?
Yes. Yeah, something's not right. Something's a little off today.
Peanut butter falcon potato tonight. Yeah. So All right, Brandon. Thanks for sharing that. Huh.
You want me to update you on my Red Bull addiction?
Yeah, so in the pre-show, Brandon was telling me about his current energy drink consumption, and I had made the comment that perhaps if he was going to wing drinking those, he should perhaps do it before we get on air. So he's animated. And then you proceeded to reply that you've given up drinking all energy drinks.
I went cold turkey
again,
and it's been hell. Yeah, again. This time I think it's going to be for. No, I can't finish it. I can't finish that sentence, but I'll say this time.
You can't even commit to your non-committal.
It's been 5 days since I've had one. I went cold turkey. I was drinking about 1 to 2 cans a day, 8 or 12 ounce cans. So let's just say 2 12-ounce cans a day. One when I wake up, and then one around lunchtime to keep me going. It may have contributed to my high blood pressure.
There's
a chance that my blood pressure has gotten a little bit better in the last 6 days since
6 days. The exact amount of time.
Yeah. It feels like it felt like lately that I've been having a heart attack and like not being able to like. My chest feels heavy, like anxiety. It feels like anxiety.
Yeah, you got to stop with those drinks. My
head starts getting the pressure, and that's another reason I need to check my, maybe get on better blood pressure medicine. But yeah, I had to give up because I love, and I mean, oh god, it's so bad right now. I just want one. I want a yellow Red Bull so bad. They're my favorite. They're so good. They're so good.
The Raven King asks, "What's Rob's vice?" Always has been coffee. This past year, though, I've gone to a mix of half and half decaf and regular. So, and then I flavor it with teas. So,
bobas are like a treat that's not good for you, right?
Yeah, but that's in the latter half of the year. Like right now, I'm packing about 15 pounds in water weight. So I go off my diet around November, and then I just get super fat. So like
Ari says, it's okay, Brandon. The mango monsters own my soul right now. Oh yeah. See, I don't like Coca-Cola, Raven King, because it gives me like heartburn. I can drink cherry Coca-Cola, but regular Coca-Cola messes with me. But I don't really like monsters. I mean, yellow Red Bull is the only energy drinks I really like. And I like the strawberry whipped rock stars, but that's way too much. Those cans will kill me. I can't drink those. I know.
I gave all that stuff up back in 2012,
it's like hearing someone talk about drugs. Yeah, man, I dabbled in this and then I switched to this hard stuff. And then now the things I do behind a trash can to get my hands on some of this.
My come to Jeebus moment with sugary drinks was my back tooth cracked,
Oh, yeah.
And I could tell you, like, it was a combination of donuts and Jolly Ranchers and Rockstar.
Jesus.
So I'd get a Jolly Rancher and I'd get a Rockstar and just swirl it around. Like, oh, that's so awesome. And then my teeth fell out. So lesson learned. That was $6,000. It was my entire savings at the time wiped out because I didn't have dental insurance. So yeah, I learned my lesson. So I don't do that anymore. So I have black coffee. Sometimes I have some sugar-free vanilla. I put in there with Earl Grey. In the morning, I do a chai tea. Then I do my half decaf, half coffee mix, and I flavor that with different teas throughout the day. Sometimes I get an Irish breakfast. Sometimes I have a butterscotch tea, and the other times I have the Earl Grey, or I just drink it black. So, and Brandon can test. I mostly drink it black, right, Brandon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had him try my flavored coffee once, and just was too bitter for Brandon. Like I remember the look on your face. You're like, ooh.
I wanted to spit it straight out, like. Immediately as it went into my mouth, I was just like, I don't like this at all. It was just the roast taste of it, I guess. I don't know.
You're just addicted to sugar, man.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm okay with that.
Okay. So it's been a little bit. Oh, man. So what else we got to talk about here? Let's get into. Brandon had a topic he wanted to bring up about Liefeld. So I'm gonna let Brandon talk about this one.
Yay! Yeah, we never really talked about this, but in the middle of October, apparently Liefeld had a little spat with Marvel, not Marvel the movie studios so much, just Marvel the publications, where it seemed like that whole book that he came out with called Major X, which he apparently created. They were trying to like, he was saying they were doing shady practices, which sounds like they weren't giving him due credit or money, most likely, for the character that he came up with for them. And he went on a nice, like he does, an online little rant, which he's always very vague about. But, you know, he said things like, I got to shake up that good old boy network that's been making things up as they go. You have no idea.
Huh.
And then, yeah. So,
good old
you know,
boy
then,
network.
Yeah, that's
he's implying they're racist.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. You know, but
I don't know.
As artists, we have to protect ourselves from practices that compromise our livelihood. I have always campaigned creators' rights, and I always will, or championed. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And he also goes on to say that true story. Back in 1996, Marvel filed a motion against me that stated in the complaint that I created a character called Fighting American in order to prevent me from publishing it. It was sent over, blah, blah, at a certain time, which he did have a character. He did have Fighting American.
That was Joe Sinnott's character in Jack Kirby, right? Like,
yeah, something like that.
He just licensed it from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
which predated Captain America, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know what to take from it. You know, I mean, Marvel does have a history of not giving due to the creators of things. You know, they don't.
You say.
So I mean, there is validity to what he says. You know, is
nonsense.
Liefeld does go a little holier than thou when he's preaching, but
it's complicated. It's complicated, yeah. Right? Like Asterix, it's complicated with Liefeld. You know, he'll have a point, but then it'll be like, yeah, you champions creators' rights until like you don't own the book that helped found Image. Like, I don't know, man. Like, until you sell away your creators' rights, or I don't know, man. Like, or you poach talent and get thrown out of the company that champions creators' rights. And I don't know. Like, it's always some weird, like, asterisk, I mean, legally, like, if you created a character and you're supposed to give him credit, the credit comes with royalties, So if they're not giving him credit, then he's not getting royalties on it. And, then they have to honor that. Like, I mean, if you don't want to, dude, they're so big now. What kills me about Marvel is they run it like there's still some independent little podunk company out in the mid-90s waiting to go bankrupt, They don't run it like they're part of a mega corporation that makes $10 billion at the box office this year alone,
Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't want to fucking pay them, then don't have them create new characters. Just pay them to fucking draw Dr. Octopus,
Right.
Rob Liefeld's Dr. Octopus. Like, stop asking. Like, I don't know.
And why even... Sorry, go ahead.
Go on. No, you go ahead.
Why even? And what I don't get is if you're Rob Liefeld and you know the track history, are you just doing it because there's a chance that it might go down like this? I mean, it's like if you know that this situation's bad for you, okay? And you could he could have created the Major X on his own or whatever on his own.
No,
yeah.
No, that character had to be in the MCU, right?
I mean, he can do whatever. He's rich enough where he can do whatever he wants as far as creatively, probably the rest of his life, and it'd be fine. If he wants to create a new character every other week, he can. He has that liberty, and that's awesome for him. He earned it. That's good for him. He's got the money. He's got the freedom. But why go back to these companies that is not going to give you fair rights to the characters, and then just turn around and complain about it?
You ever hear the phrase, Brandon? You ever hear the phrase "better the devil you know"?
No, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, it's like, why go back to that thing? Well, I mean, you knew, but I knew that they were gonna, at least there isn't any uncertainty. So, so, I mean, he does. I haven't read any of the Major X books. I don't have a problem with it.
I
I don't really care one way or the other. I'm like, it's cool, like whatever. What I did notice, it looked like there was already like a Major X dog. Am I wrong about that? Or right? Like, did he already like Deadpoolize the whole thing?
The Deadpool was he had the Deadpool corpse where it was Deadpool dog, Deadpool zombie head, Lady.
Was he
Deadpool.
doing that to Major X? I thought I saw something where he was doing that again. Like it was just.
I don't think it was.
All right.
I could be wrong, but
never mind. I stand corrected. Whatever. There's some group of dudes out there who've been doing some like. They're on my Facebook. And I don't mean any ill will to them. I just don't remember their names. But I know like they've been championing that he swiped the design of that helmet from their book, and they do a very Extreme Studios style book, you know. And then eventually he was like arguing back and forth with them about it, you know, on there, and I just had to mute him. But I'm like, quite frankly, the X on the helmet kind of comes from Judge Dredd, really, you know,
right.
when you really think about it. So it's not. You know, like chill out.
I mean, there's not there. Honestly, I don't care because Liefeld doesn't like me already. I think the design for
there's a shirt we can put.
Liefeld doesn't like me. Yeah.
Liefeld, I don't care. Liefeld doesn't like me already. Like, okay, all right.
The design is stupid. It really is. The guy's wearing a helmet with an X on it with little tabs on the side, and he's wearing just a full bodysuit with an X and a glowing egg on its chest. It's stupid.
To be fair, the design of Ant-Man's kind of stupid too.
The helmet on Ant-Man's cool though. The little speaker box.
Brandon, it's just as dumb. Like it's in the same category of dumb. You know, you could say it's above or below it, but it's in that same slot. You know.
You know what? I didn't realize that. And I don't know if it's the coloring or not, but it looks like the Major X character is maybe African American, and maybe that's why his tweets sound a little like calling Marvel racist. I don't know. It's weird, but
I have no clue.
Yeah,
You've opened up a box I don't want to step into.
Well, I'm just saying, you never know with Liefeld's tweets. He'll have a point, and then he goes fucking way off the reservation. You're just like, wait, what? What were you talking about? And you're like, dude, you had a good point. You should have ran with that. So,
well, he used to. So, not him, but McFarlane used to do this column in the back of Wizard magazine, and I just remember like he ran a whole column once. It was like, I don't know, like 1,000 words just defending Liefeld right before they threw him out. Jeez. You know, like so like his shenanigans just go way back, you know, and I don't really like. It's so weird. It's like I like the action figureness of his characters, right? Like especially the ones from the mid '90s, because you know I was a teenager. I enjoy that they're action figure-y. People go, "This is not realistic." Yeah, now there's fucking He-Man, dude. You know what I mean? Now there's Transformers. Your truck isn't going to transform into a giant robot. You know what I mean? Just chill out. Silverhawks ain't. You know, like it G.I. Joe, really. You know. So if you know it's not realistic, fucking DuckTales. So
what?
Brandon's like, right? Am I ruining Christmas for you, Brandon?
You did. Mind blown.
So it's like I like the action figureness of them. I like that when they were first doing the Image universe, like, and his characters would appear in other books. Like when Badrock would appear, or Bedrock at the time would appear in Savage Dragon, they would all write those characters as if they were talking to Liefeld. They were always like real, like one-dimensional and sort of like boom, punch, kick, you know. And
yeah.
So I like that sort of, you know, early teenager like angst was sort of synonymous with that product, you know. So
right.
And you also got this extra layer of like he's never going to finish a book. Like whatever book comes out, there's no fucking way this lasts more than maybe one issue. Like right. And he would draw one and then kind of two, and then you'd sort of see like layouts and then by Liefeld, you know, filler by someone else, and then it would go away. I think now his art's sort of on autopilot, so he does finish the books, but it's like all right, whatever. I mean,
Right.
I just don't know. Like, if I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, I imagine what will happen is within like 6 months he'll just be like, they're the best ever. We're all friends again.
Yeah, we're back. We're back.
He'll get a Major X movie deal, and
right, it'll be a Netflix show or something. Yeah.
what if Major X is the first MCU character, mutant character, brought into the MCU? You think that'll just piss off like all the internet?
Oh yeah, they would lose. They would lose their shit. I hope. Ugh.
Right? Right? You could see like it happening.
Right.
So
Speaking of MCU universe, you see who they might cast as Moon Knight? You see who MCU Direct and a couple other people were reporting might play Moon Knight now?
let's pretend I don't know, and you let everyone know.
Daniel, Harry, Mother and Potter, Radcliffe.
I thought he was supposed to be Wolverine, Brandon.
Now, I'll get to that. Now, the Moon Knight character is very Wolverine-esque, okay? And you said you couldn't see. Now, just to reiterate here, people, I told Rob my pick for Wolverine should be Daniel Radcliffe.
Hold on.
Him a lot.
I can't. It still makes me laugh.
Get it out.
It really would be a Harry Potter.
Yes.
Right?
Listen. I saw Daniel Radcliffe in the movie Horns, okay? And he played a bad mother effer, okay? He zoned in on that. It was no longer Harry Potter, okay? And then he was in that jungle movie, right? Where he goes a little crazy in the jungle. Now, I said if you put like a good 30 pounds of muscle on Daniel Radcliffe, he would make a badass Wolverine to carry in to the MCU. Rob laughed at me like so. But, I've seen reports that Daniel Radcliffe could play Moon Knight, and he would still have to bulk up. He has the look. I think just as good. He would still play that gritty, borderline psychopathic character, which I think he could, and it'd be a great role for him. I wish it would have been Wolverine, so I could have thrown it in Rob's face. But hey, it's still an MCU character, and I was pretty damn close.
Have they ever got the casting for an MCU character right ahead of time?
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
No. It was supposed to be Joaquin Phoenix as Doctor Strange, right? It's supposed to be...
But then those characters at least audition. It wasn't like they were just...
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. So maybe he auditioned. I'm not saying that he didn't get in the room and they haven't had concept art with his face attached to it to see what it would look like.
What do you got against Daniel Radcliffe, Rob?
Nothing, but isn't Moon Knight Egyptian?
He's Jewish.
Oh.
I believe. And I think, don't quote me, not anybody will. I thought Daniel Radcliffe was also Jewish, but I could be wrong. But I believe Moon Knight is a Jewish character, not Egyptian. The god that he is gets his powers from is an Egyptian god.
Oh.
But I think the actual marine character that he plays is Jewish descent.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I could be wrong, but I do know that.
But what happens if we wake up tomorrow and Michael B. Jordan's been cast as Moon Knight? Then will people shut up?
That'd be fucking awesome too. That'd be awesome too because Michael B. Jordan's a great actor. That'd be great too.
He plays a villain. He can't be. I know, guys. I didn't mean literally. Like.
Oh shit! Wait, never mind. That's right. He was in Black Panther. Yeah.
I don't care one way or the other.
It doesn't matter who they put in these roles. They're still going to make it halfway.
No, it matters who they put in the roles. Like, let's just not go there. If they cast Gary Busey as Moon Knight, you're going to get a whole other movie or show, right?
Fucking Nick Nolte.
I do believe I am the Egyptian god of. You know what I mean?
I like it.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, you tell me. I mean, I really only know Moon Knight from the Stephen Platt issues. So that's.
See, I know I'm more of a David Finch Moon Knight run. Okay. Different times for us, I guess, but I like David Finch. Say. I like the David Finch run on Moon Knight. It was really, really cool. So I like that. Okay.
You
Just
like the
letting you
cat?
know.
Well, because you wanted him as Wolverine. Well, I told you he's not gonna be Wolverine.
I like Daniel Radcliffe as a character who is somewhat sane, somewhat unstable, can really go batshit crazy, and
can play a
Horns,
farting
I loved
corpse
it.
for about an hour and a half.
You know what? That movie wasn't the best movie, but it wasn't a bad movie. Okay, the guys. There's two guys. There's two guys that I believe they're both Daniel and Daniel. The guys that direct. I can't remember. They both have the same name. They directed a whole bunch of cool music videos, and they're the ones who directed that. And I liked it. I liked it visually.
Okay.
It wasn't the greatest movie or story. It was better than iBoy.
So does Moon Knight have like a cave, like a moon cave? Like, does he have moon gadgets, or does he have any?
No, he just pretty much from the David Finch run. He just has like a really rich apartment. He just got a nice mercenary style apartment that he just hangs his shit up. And
So
he kind of has a butler. He's almost like Batman, but
so when it comes to Moon Knight, like if they don't have okay, I would say this. Like if the production design on his cape is like very CW, like CW-ish, like at what point, what do you want to see visually? Like I'm just wondering. He's a dude with a cape, so you think they'll go like more Nolan-esque, or they'll keep the MCU look, obviously, but like
I say no cape. I say they go stealth suit, kind of like the Black Widow stealth suit and the Taskmaster suit. I say they go just a grayish off-white stealth style suit. I don't even think with black incorporated in it and stuff. I don't even think they go cape whatsoever, because he's basically like he's an ex-sniper, military, CIA spook type character. And I think to stay away from the look of Batman, which he gets compared to a lot, I think he'll have like I don't want to say motorcycle jacket, because that's very Daredevil back in the day, but I say some kind of stealth suit where he still has the hood that he can flip up, but no cape. I kind of like maybe a mix of the Daredevil.
See,
Netflix
I think if
suit.
they don't have the cape, they're gonna get a lot of shit.
Maybe he gets it at the end or before at the beginning, and then he ditches it or it gets burnt up. But I just don't see it's going to come out too much as Batman, which he already gets compared to enough.
So
it's just I don't think it's needed. Well, there's also there's a Moon Knight run where he is in like a white suit with just like a mask, gloves kind of look too. So they could, like I said, they could just blend those together, give him a stealth suit with maybe a hood. Maybe they go. Let's say it's Daniel Radcliffe, right? Maybe
he gets a
fresh. No, fuck
what?
You. Maybe he's fresh. He's fresh out of the military services, like in the book, kind of, and he doesn't have like the full cape arsenal stuff. They go very low key. Daredevil street budget, you know what I mean?
What if they go like the Birds of Prey and he just wears a t-shirt?
And frillies and...
Look, man, I got nothing against it. This is a segue into the Birds of Prey. I saw the trailer and it's like, look, man, I got nothing against all-female superhero film, man. Matter of fact, Damian Scott drew the female Batgirl run.
Right.
It's like one of my favorite runs ever.
I love Damian Scott.
Cassandra Cain, right? Sorry.
Yes.
Cassandra Cain. I love the art. I love the design. I was always like, why don't they ever make a Batman that doesn't have the mouth? And they gave her that look. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, what's the point of doing this movie if they're just gonna wear normal fucking clothes, man?
Right.
Like it literally looks like a CW show on the big screen. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll go see the movie, and then they'll have costumes at the end, and whatever. But like, it reeks of like that X-Men formula where, Brandon, your favorite cut scene where Wolverine looks in a suitcase and sees a CGI mask he ain't never gonna fucking wear.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't know, man. I don't. It's tough because it reminds me more of the Schumacher stuff, than even of like Shazam. When I said Shazam, to me, it felt like a CW. Like it should have been tied to the CW universe. I still stand by that statement.
A sequel.
Huh?
I can't believe it's getting a sequel.
Well, the cinematographer for Black Adam, on a side note, is the guy from the Joker movie. So it's gonna look that'll gonna look really good.
Yeah, the Black Adam movie will, but not the second Shazam.
Yeah, who knows? We all know where I stand on that movie, so I didn't care for it.
I hate it.
But I don't know, man. Like, it's just tough because there's a group of those like dude bros out there who are just against any female-driven anything now, and I don't understand that philosophy.
Right.
I grew up in a world where Ripley and Terminator were, you know what I mean? Like, were like my favorite films, Alien, and
Oh yeah.
so like I don't understand that philosophy. I just the production design. What's with like, I don't know, they're just wearing like normal. I mean, I don't know. You know, like, I don't get it. So
Besides Margot Robbie being Harley Quinn, and you know that she's Harley Quinn, you don't really know who these characters are based off their looks.
Armando
Like,
says some things don't translate well from cartoon to live action. I'm like, if they can make Thor and Loki work, they can make these characters work, bro. It's not that hard. We're in a world now, man, where they made Ant-Man look cool. So let's not, you know what I mean? Let's not pretend this isn't possible.
Yeah.
So
and just to go back to the comment sections, and Raven King said having Moon Knight look like Ghost from the second Ant-Man movie would be great. Yeah, that's a good example of what I was trying to get at. I couldn't think of that.
Sure, I just think that if he doesn't have the cape, you're going to get a lot of shit. And I know like the cape is. I mean, they could go Thor, where it's just a cape.
How about a poncho?
No, because he'll look like Unbreakable.
Not if it's like whitish gray.
He needs a big cape, Brandon. Look, I'm not a fan of the character, but what I know of the character is the giant cape. Like,
okay,
it's part of the deal. So, and I know that capes are hard. They're hard. Like, you can see on Batman Begins when they went with the full cloth cape, how much of a trouble that was. They try to go with the giant cape. Even did these cool stills where he's standing on like the L train rails, like Christian Bale, right? And he's got all that cape draped around him. And there's that one shot in the movie where he's on the corner. It was that on that building, and that cape's just flowing. But keeping track of that cape in live action it's a knucking nightmare, you know? Which is why in the later films they just CGI'd capes. I don't know what a CGI cape is going to do for the TV show budget, but they said the visual effects for the MCU TV shows are supposed to be on par with the movies. Now, that's a double-edged sword. First edge, it's probably why the CGI in the Marvel movies, they don't push that hard.
Right.
They're like, yeah, we know it's a little wonky, but you know. That being said, there's still some really great CGI in the Marvel movies, which I'm like, which CGI? Are we getting the CGI from the Black Panther L Train fight? Or are we getting the CGI from the Hulk versus the Hulkbuster Age of Ultron fight? Which CGI are we getting? I think the CGI are probably closer to what we're getting in the Black Widow film. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, which I'd be perfectly fine with if they stuck with that and the first 3/4 of Winter Soldier. You know?
What do you think of that trailer?
I saw it. I saw it on the internet, and I was like, "All right, it's fine." It's, going to be chuckle with David Harbour. I saw it in 3D when I went and saw The Rise of Skywalker, and in 3D, it's a different trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, the 3D is really, really well done. So, like especially that end sequence, which looks a little fake when they're dropping from the.
When they're flying down the parachute or flying through the sky or whatever, she's going through the parts.
Right. So in 3D, each one of those characters is in a different, like the geography is way different. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's got a lot of depth. So if you get a chance to see that trailer in 3D, and if you like 3D, then yeah, it was really good. So.
Yeah. Might be worth it to go see it in 3D.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
You were going to segue to it. Go ahead.
Well, so before we get to the Rise of Skywalker, so before the movie started, okay, now, look, Brandon, I want to talk. This has become every time I go to the movies now, this has become a tradition. Hold on, I got to cough 1 second. Let me mute my mic. I move away from my mic when I cough. So, chocolate rain. So, every time I go to the theater, I go to these Regal theaters, right? And every time a movie starts, some actor comes out. This time it's Olivia Wilde. And they're like, hello, I'm so-and-so actor. And these people I'm sponsoring to make a film. And they're like, please enjoy our film. And it's a fucking like Hallmark shitty commercial for buying concessions at the movie theater that lasts about a minute. That ain't no fucking film. Like, and I know like it's really popular to get old man yelling at cloud, on the internet. I see it all the time, and I generally don't. If you follow any of my Twitter or Instagram, I don't rail. You don't see me going.
Right.
But here, I gotta tell you, this fucking thing they do where they're like, enjoy my film, and it's like the worst commercial you've ever seen. There isn't even any hook to these things. Have you seen them?
Mm-mm. Oh yeah, I mean I have. It's been a while, and they're just like, it's like they're forced to do it. Like you can just tell they fucking hate it. They're just like, yeah, hey,
Look,
it's me and
it's a
so-and-so.
commercial. So like, say enjoy our commercial, enjoy our music video if you want to put it together to a stupid song, but don't call a fucking commercial your film. Like,
yeah.
It's so disingenuous. It's a fucking advertisement. It's not a film. There's no artistic merit to it. It doesn't say anything other than... Here's the other thing I don't understand. Why are you showing me an ad for your theater when I'm already bought a ticket and I'm in your fucking seat? Like, I don't... I'm in the theater!
Yeah.
Right? Like, am I crazy?
A little bit.
Like, when I go to IMAX... and they play the IMAX intro, and then they tell me how great IMAX is and prepare for IMAX. I'm like, I'm in the IMAX theater. I know. In fact, if you start showing me the film, I'll get more excited about this IMAX experience. Right now, it took 25 minutes, bro. On a premiere night. On a premiere night. Like and it wasn't this bad with Endgame. Endgame, it was 15 minutes, which is fucking horrendous. But 25 minutes, because what happens now when I get in, I have a timer. I just clock. Here we go. And my wife is just like, and I'm like, I don't care. And I don't look at any of the fucking films. Those ones bug the shit out of me, the films. Then the IMAX thing rolls up, and then the trailers kick in, which we've all seen. Now, I did get Armando brings up the Rob got to see the prologue for Tenet. I did get to see the prologue for Tenet. So if you don't know what Tenet is a new film by Christopher Nolan. Has a little bit of a twist to it, like anything else. I don't want to ruin it. Go see the trailer. But they played, I want to say, like a 6 to 10 minute long sequence. So the 25 minutes, by the way, is probably eaten up largely by this giant prologue. But bro, now you're actually watching here's the thing. I had to sit through these guys tell me you enjoy our film, which is a fucking Regal commercial. And then I got to sit through literally a film before the movies started with no warning. Like Christopher Nolan doesn't come out, hello everybody, enjoy my film. You're like, what is going on? Like I knew what it was. I'm watching the audience to see how they react. Now, the prologue has to be one of the fucking craziest things I've ever seen them put in a movie theater. Okay, Brandon? And you're thinking, how can that be, Rob? How can that be? I'm just gonna tell you right now, right? Brandon, what would you say to a 6-minute sequence in a movie theater in which a bunch of terrorists storm a concert and try to murder everybody?
Jesus.
Like breaking down, knocking over the cello artist. You know what I mean? They gas the whole audience in the concert.
Oh, Jesus.
Brandon. Guns flaring, doors being kicked down. People showed up for Star Wars. It's the craziest thing, dude. I'm looking around like everyone's getting antsy, Right. They're looking at the doors, like is someone coming in. This is Idaho, so they can pack. So I know some guy had to been like, come on in, motherfucker. Like they just want to get into a gunfight around here. So you're in Arizona, so yeah, dude. The trailer and the content was fine. I'm looking forward to the movie. But why you would ever pick that to be your preview for a film playing in front of a bunch of little kids, dude? It's Star Wars. Like, there's a bunch of little children in the theater. We're just like, what are we watching? I don't know. Who approved this?
Yeah, that's horrible.
I didn't know it was way more awful than the movie will gain some media attention. This ain't the kind of media attention a movie should be gaining. Look, it's just rude. You know, like, it's bad enough. And Brandon, you know as well as I do, ever since The Dark Knight Rises, anytime I go to the movie theater, like, I position myself for an escape. You know? You know, and it's sad, you know? Like, you remember when you and I were like, well, do we roll the dice and go see a movie? Any movie. It doesn't matter what it is, you know? If it's a big release, chances are we might have to deal with this. So, for it the preview to be literally them attacking a theater. It wasn't a movie theater, but come on, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, just, I'm reminded of, did you see the documentary, The Movies That Made Us?
Mm-mm.
So you know The Toys That Made Us on Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
Same guys. They have a series now on Netflix called The Movies That Made Us. And they got 4 films. One of them's Die Hard. They're fun. I'm not saying they're riveting documentaries. They're fun, right? Put them on while you're just shooting the shit around the house. You're going to have a good time. And on the Die Hard one, I'm reminded of the director, John McTiernan, kept turning down the script because he's like, it's terrorists. Terrorists aren't fun. This is 88. No one wants to fucking go. Terrorists are scary, man. And so when he took on the project, he turned them from terrorists to bank robbers. He was like, people can root for a bank robber. You know what I mean? Like, a little bit different.
Yeah.
These were straight up, like, you may as well thought it was Bane attacking this fucking theater. Like, you know, like, without the crazy voice. So, movie looks cool. Who knows? You know?
Right.
So, yeah, so that was, now we're just 25 minutes in and the movie hasn't started. Before we get into the movie, Rise of Skywalker, Brandon, what was your pre-movie experience like when you went and saw the movie?
Pre? Like, just...
Yeah. Like, was there long lines? Did you have to sit through 25 minutes of trailers? Were you worried gunmen were going to come through?
No.
Because mine was a little eventful.
Mine was, actually, for all the problems I've had in the last couple of visits, mine was super easy. We went and got, remember that breakfast place we went to, me and you? The
one I made you go to?
The hen house?
Uh-huh.
No, the hen, you didn't make me, I took you.
That's the one I picked. You didn't take me.
I think I gave you choices.
No, you didn't give me choices, Brandon. All right, go ahead.
I'm going to have to rethink this over. But anyways, the breakfast place we went to, me and you, we went there and had breakfast. It was great. Then we went to the bookstore, Barnes & Noble, looked around at some manga. And then we just walked into the theater because we have assigned seats. And there was literally nobody to the left or right of us. And it was weird. There was nobody in our row except one other guy. And it was nice. There was no kids behind me kicking the chairs. There was no people with any kind of things going on or nothing. It was just a really good start. And I was like, this can't be good. So I was looking behind me. I'm like, this isn't right. This is too good. This is too good for my taterness. Full tater sense on high alert.
So what you're saying is it's me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my last experience was a little bad, but definitely going with you, going to the movies with you is an adventure on its own. Going anywhere with you is an adventure.
Yeah, things happen. So
me and you have two different weird. You call it the gitchies.
No.
Where
the gitchy is from Bone, where you get premonitions, right? And I'm pretty good on that. When shit goes wrong, I've coined it the glitchy.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So yours and mine are two different things. Mine is I will get, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but there will be very different situations with people. You know, certain people that things happen, and people are like, that doesn't happen. I'm like, oh no, that exchange happened between me and these people, or that person, or that mom. But yours is like DEFCON weird shit going on, where mine's more like,
yeah they evacuated entire convention.
Right. Mine's more like, yeah, I made that person's mom want to go dancing that night with me.
9-year-olds
like
get
that.
taken to the Deadpool with their stuffed animal. Their stuffed unicorn.
Unicorn animal
on a premiere night.
That was so good.
Right.
That was so good when he's jerking off with the unicorn, and there's a family with a kid with a unicorn.
Tell everyone. Like, so Brad and I went and saw the premiere of Deadpool. I happened to be in town when I was up there, and a family all dressed up like Deadpool showed up, and their youngest little daughter had a giant stuffed unicorn.
Oh.
And they had never seen the film.
Never. And they're just sitting there like, and that scene comes out when he's got the unicorn. You can just see the mom like hand slowly going over the kid's face, like, oh shit. I'm like, yeah, this movie's rated R. Like, what were you thinking was gonna go down? Like, yeah, that was a fun time. So yeah, my walking into Star Wars wasn't bad.
Did you get the collector's cup?
I did not get the collector's cup.
They did these like head things, and I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted with Mysterio. Remember I told you I want a Mysterio like head cup, where the head's above. They did that for Star Wars with all the Knights of Ren and shit. I'm like, that's what I wanted with the fucking Mysterio. So I didn't get one, but yeah. If they'd been selling a Mysterio one, I would have bought that. But oh well.
There you go.
So, Brandon, you went and saw the movie.
Yeah.
So what'd you think? Spoilers for Rise of Skywalker, so leave now. All right, there.
Yeah. Oh shit! Yeah, the movie just came out, didn't it?
Yeah.
Spoilers, everyone. Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker, the newest one. We will be talking about it. You have 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, you're on your own. Going into it, I'm not the hugest Star Wars fan. Like it hasn't been part of my life or lore. I really liked The Force Awakens a lot. I thought J.J. Abrams made it so visually cool, and I loved it. That might be my favorite Star Wars movie besides maybe Rogue One. I give it like a solid 7 out of 10, just because visually it was so much better than the last one. Story was good. I feel like for not being a huge Star Wars fan, I imagine all the things came to an end very well for how they should have went. Like, I can talk freely because we said spoilers, or like Ben dying, Kylo Ren dying, I knew was going to happen because there was no way for him to ever be accepted back into that whole, the rebellion, the universe, everything after all the horrendous
killed
shit
like a trillion people and blew up 7 planets.
Yeah, there's no way. So knowing that, I was like, that's a good. The plot twists and things that they had, were good. I didn't really see them, a lot of it coming, just because like I said, I wasn't a diehard Star Wars fan. So when you find out that, what's the main chick's name?
Rey.
Rey. When you find out Rey, is Palpatine's granddaughter, I was like, oh shit, that's cool. That's a weird bloodline. All right, I thought there were some inconsistencies throughout the movie, but I feel like JJ came in and really just kind of saved the day after that clusterfuck of a last one, which I think also, since I had such a bad taste of the last one, it was hard for me to get super amped up for this one. Because like after Force Awakens, I was like, holy shit, Star Wars is badass. This is the type of shit I like. Like, I was like, man, this is cool. And then that last one, I was like, oh, this is what Star Wars is like for people. And you guys were like, Jessica's like, yeah, this is more like the prequels kind of vibe with the casino and stuff. And I'm like, oh. So I liked it. I give it a 7 out of 10. I saw it in Cine Capri because we couldn't get tickets for the IMAX, but I don't know if I would go see it a second time like I did Force Awakens. I think I saw Force Awakens 2 or 3 times in IMAX. So I don't know if I would go see this in IMAX now and spend the time and money after it. I mean, maybe because Jessica, but I don't know. Your turn to talk.
All right, so before I get into what I think about the movie, let me tell you this whole thing about, give me some advice about movie recommendations. So I want you all to know, there are movies I love, people hate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with an easy one, Speed Racer. Right now, it's popular to like the movie now, but you got to remember, wasn't popular to like the movie in 2008.
No, not at all.
Okay? I saw it 4 times in IMAX. Okay? So, I like Speed Racer. I like The Watchmen and The Watchmen Ultimate Cut. Just watched it the other night.
Yeah.
I don't take it so much as it is an adaptation of the comic, but it's like a more of a riff on superhero movies for me than the comic books. But I enjoy the movie. You know, especially the ultimate cut, man, with the animated sequences and stuff. It's really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now those are easy ones to like. To be like, oh, Rob, you know. Now I'm gonna name some movies. We're gonna get further into movies. You're like, Rob, like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna name you some. Just let's go over there. We're gonna get a little bit. Let me think here really quickly. If I can go a little easier. I like Mission Impossible too.
Oh wow.
Okay. I think it's the weakest of the Mission Impossible films, but better than most Fast and the Furious movies. See?
Okay.
See? Right? Okay. And yes, I do enjoy the cheesy Limp Bizkit. Yes, I do. With Metallica and the whole thing. Yeah, I like it. Let's go further back. I like Batman Forever.
Why?
There you go. Right. I don't think it's great Batman, but in 1994, it was pretty good Batman, considering the options we had, right?
Okay.
All things considered, I walked out of there going like, I liked Robin. Hope they learn from the next one. You know, didn't really care for the Two-Face, the interpretation of Two-Face, but this was a fun, had a good time, saw it like 7 times in the movie theater. Bought the soundtrack, didn't like the score, but I let it go. I let it go, Brandon. I was a mature little teenager, but I enjoyed it. I know, people are like, huh, right?
Yeah.
I like Police Academy 5.
You're so old, Rob. I'm pretty sure like 9 out of 10 of our viewers don't even know what that movie is.
Police Academy 5, Operation Miami Beach. Yes. Rene Auberjonois. He played Odo on Deep Space Nine, was in there, made the whole movie for me. I didn't like they got rid of Steve Guttenberg or he quit, didn't want to come back. I didn't like the replacement for Mahoney, but I enjoyed the robbers in that film. And God rest his soul, Rene Auberjonois, who passed away 2 weeks ago. Okay.
Can you give us some newer examples?
Well, but I want to show you that there are bad movies. Okay, Freddy versus Jason. I like it.
Yeah, it's entertaining. That one's. I like the cinematography in it, the colors, the look of things.
Oh, hold on. To go back, I also like Police Academy 6, which Pyro brings up. Psycho brings up the Moscow one. Yeah, with Mr. Big. It's stupid. You know, I didn't want to like it, but my cousin, who has even less taste than me in anything, came over and loved the shit out of it, and I loved it because he loved it so much. Grew on me. Now I like it. I can put it on it and laugh. You know, it's so silly. I enjoy it. Let's go back, move it back to I like Freddy versus Jason. It was a fun film. I say it's a better film than Friday the Nightmare on Elm Street remake or the Friday the 13th remake. Although the Friday the 13th remake was okay.
Jason X or anything. At least you didn't say something like Jason X, where he goes into space.
If I smoked weed, I think I would like Jason X. All right.
Yeah.
So, let me think. What else do I like that people?
I like Batman v Superman, and a lot of people don't.
Brandon likes Batman v. But see, that's a contentious. People could say this or that. So think of something generally people dislike that you like.
Basketball. I like basketball, and that's not an easily likable movie. It's a lot like Lethal Weapon type movies, that slapstick kind of thing, which is kind of like the Police Academy stuff. But basketball, the guys who created South Park, I like that one. That one got a lot of shit. I like Moving Violations, which was from the creators of Police Academy. And it has police in that movie that you think are pretty much from Police Academy movies. And it has Bill Murray's younger brother pretending to be Bill Murray in there. Not a good movie. I like Moving Violations. I didn't know Bill Murray had a younger brother who's an actor. Yeah, he was only in that one movie where they paid him to pretend to be Bill Murray. Wasn't good. Oh, wow. Love the movie. And Jennifer Tilly's in that. Or Meg Tilly. I think Meg Tilly's in that. Meg Tilly's in that. Hot as ever. Beautiful. Beautiful woman. So, I like Gleaming the Cube. What?
Yes, Christian Slater's skate movie. Yes.
Just making shit up at this point?
No, Christian Slater's skate movie, Gleaming the Cube. All right. Pump Up the Volume. That's kind of an easy one to like. People, they know it. They tend to like it.
All right, can we go back to your thoughts on Star Wars? Because you're naming movies that are making me want to like have to Google.
No. I have to reinforce it. I like now. My favorite film of all time right now is still tied between either The Shawshank Redemption or Seven Samurai. Right. Although here's what's really weird about that is my favorite Kurosawa film is Yojimbo, but I recognize that Seven Samurai is a defining film, so much harder to make the Seven Samurai. Yojimbo is a fun film, so I have a lot of artsiness to me, but you got to know, like, I have to preface all these movies I like that generally people don't. So you know that when I tell you I don't like something or I like something, it doesn't matter. You already know that my opinion doesn't count,
Okay.
Because it really doesn't. And further to the point, a lot of things that inspire people to create things that you love, you're not going to like. Now, it's difficult with movies because I think all of us can get into a film or a TV show and have an opinion. But I think it's much easier to point out this problem with music. Because if you ever listen to someone, most people don't like music you like. You know what I mean? Like, you meet someone, you like that? Ah, shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, right. No one likes any of the music I listen to. That's why I don't play music on the channel. It's just, I just don't. You don't want to listen to what I listen to, Like, you just don't. So, and I recognize that. Even as a kid, I never liked pop music. I only listened to musical scores and I had to record them on audio tape from the films, so I had to get them with the movies. But generally what I would do is at the end of the movie, they would play the musical scores to the films, and I would record just the credits and run all the scores together on tape. So, like, that's how I would have my little, like, mixes of anthems and stuff. So if you love this movie and if you hate this movie, that's it. That's all it is. It's just, I hope it speaks to you. I hope everyone enjoys what they go and see, because quite frankly, I spent it's like $50 fucking every time I go to the fucking movies. So, you know what I mean? Like, I hope you enjoy it. The other thing I've learned is I wasn't there. I wasn't born when Star Wars came out. I was born in 1978. So my uncle took me to see Empire, but I was 2, so I don't fucking remember it. And I remember going to the premiere of Jedi in 1983. So all I wanted to do was see what was under Vader's mask. That's all I wanted to see. It fucking took forever to get there. This game you see back here came out when that movie came out. 1983 was when the Star Wars game, the first one, launched. So I played that at the movie theater. It was an AMC, I think, for the first time, like, where we were waiting. So, and when Jedi came out, I enjoyed parts of it, didn't like the Ewoks. I was the little kid who didn't like the Ewoks. I was like, I don't hate them, but it's boring. Like the speeder bikes, like the ships, like the Jedi stuff, didn't like the Ewoks. Whatever. Still liked the movie. Didn't like the Ewok movies. Did you know there were Ewok movies, Brandon?
I thought there was a Christmas special, but no.
No, there was 2, maybe 3 Ewok films. There was definitely 2. They premiered on the Disney Channel. That's how I saw them. They were not good. And then there was a thing that is actually, I looked on the Wikipedia. I used to call it the Dark Times, but Wikipedia now calls it the Dark Times. It was this period with no Star Wars. There was one role-playing game that came out around 89 or 90, maybe 88, from West End Games. I first found in 91 when I went to Disneyland with my 8th grade class. And I found the source book at the Star Tours. They were selling it there, and I bought that with my only money. I made $20. I bought the source book to play the Star Wars role-playing game. And then the very first novel came out, Heir to the Empire, came out the same year, 91, 92. So it was around that same time. Anyhow, I didn't get all these things till around the same time. So novel probably came out before that, but I didn't know of it. And then we had Star Wars in novel form up until the prequels, or the special editions. When the special editions were announced, that's when I was finally able to see Star Wars in the theater for the first time, Star Wars Special Edition. And bro, let me tell you, to be a fan of Star Wars between 84 And 97 was tough. Okay? Nobody gave a shit. It was a joke. That's when Spaceballs came out, because Star Wars was a joke to people. It was a legitimate joke. Like, you would tell older people, I love Star Wars, and they go, ha ha, you know, this is a bunch of Muppets. I don't give a shit. You know, like, it was so popular, it hit that thing. Now, you know when when Avatar or something comes out and it breaks all the records and everyone has to say it was really a shitty movie? That happened to Star Wars.
Hey, Rob?
Yeah.
I didn't like Avatar.
Well, there you go. A lot of people don't. But I love Avatar, so there you go.
Right. Okay. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just, it's Ferngully for adults.
All right. Well, there you go. I'm sure the creators of Ferngully wish they had stumbled onto that version of it so they could have made money.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So, that being said, it's funny, you go Ferngully for adults. I mean, we live in a world now where people literally, Sonic Fox is the #1 gamer. I'm like, what are you complaining about? You know, the furries won. Let it go. So, anyhow, to be like Star Wars, and it wasn't just the movies, but it was the making of them. Like, everything I do now was based around the making of those films. So what happened was Return of the Jedi went to HBO around 85. Okay. And I remember because Clue was playing at the same time. So, like, Clue went right to fucking VHS and cable, like, instantaneously. Return of the Jedi took a little longer. But when it did, they also played this featurette, which was how they made the movie. And one of the things they showed at the time was to plan out the speeder bike chase, they actually built little toys of the speeder bikes before there were toys, little models, and they had them like on sticks, and they had a little like forest, and they would run through with little cameras and, you know, animatic the thing out to figure out how to do it. And they showed the concept art, and when I found the role-playing game, it had all the concept art from there too. So how to make the films was always really important to me, and fueled my imagination, because I lived in like a Mos Eisley like town, dude. It's a shithole. I mean, it was a pretty shithole. It wasn't. I lived in real shitholes in San Diego. This wasn't. This had nature, so it was pretty. But if you didn't like sports or rodeo, no one liked you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, to love science fiction and genre and Blade Runner and Monster Squad, all those things, wasn't happening. If you didn't like Joe Montana and you didn't like, I mean, the only thing, this is what's weird about the town, the only crossover was professional wrestling. Like, I can meet them at Macho Man and Andre the Giant. That's where we linked up, you know? That was this, because it was sports. They went in it for the sport. I was in it for the genre. Catch my drift?
Yeah.
Like, it melded. Anyhow, so when the special editions came out, I was as hardcore a Lucas, like, could do no wrong dude that there was. I liked every change to the special editions, minus Luke yelling when he investment on Empire. Like, the Jedi Rocks thing I was fine with. I was like, it's a stupid Muppet. It's fine. CGI Muppet. So I knew they were using these little technologies to build the prequels, which to me were going to be the greatest movies of all time. They were not the greatest movies of all time. You know, whether you love them or hate them, we can all agree none of the prequels are the greatest movies of all time, right?
Right.
It's fair. There was a point where I abandoned Star Wars, and it was right after Episode 2. Look, it has nothing to do with the shitty romance or the digital film or the bad casting of Anakin or the shitty scripts or whatever. Fundamentally, what I was going to the prequels for was I'd always dreamt in my head of what the relationship between Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Owen, Lars, would have been. Anakin's brother. Because I have a younger brother that doesn't like me too much. My parents always loved my brother more than me, and he never liked me, but he loved me, didn't like me. We don't talk. You know what I mean? Like, I came in, and I'm adopted, so it came into a weird situation where I'm like, I wanted to see that sort of like, which brother does Anakin choose? And you know what I mean? The resentment that builds when it goes wrong and Anakin ruins his life. You know?
Yeah.
Real drama. Never happened. in Attack of the Clones, he just goes, "Oh, I guess that makes us brothers." They weren't ever brothers, you know. Like Anakin got a brother while he wasn't even there. He was off being a Jedi. Like it's a adopted. Like, oh, fucking whatever. Then the Clone Wars never happened on camera. They happened off camera, and so I was just, you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm done. There's other shit for me to do. You know, I didn't buy any Star Wars merchandise from 2002 until The Force Awakens. Period. So, hello, Lewis. So we get to this new trilogy. I was so excited because JJ was in the top 3 picks of who I'd want to reboot this stuff. I was like, Lucas isn't writing, which means we can avoid the shitty scripts. You know, just take his ideas, and we already knew he had 3 scripts already written by Michael Arndt, or at least laid out with him and Michael Arndt, who co-wrote Toy Story 3 and wrote Little Miss Sunshine, so I knew there would be strong character builds and story arcs. And I heard Michael Arndt talk once about that up at the LA Film School during a screening of Little Miss Sunshine, so I was super excited for this. Force Awakens come out, and I'm like, kind of a remake of Episode 4. That's fine. You know, I'm like, all right, they're just kind of getting started. You know, like, that's fine. But there's a lot to like here. It's not perfect. You know, they'll get past it. Mm-hmm. Every time I say that, they never get past it, Brandon. I said the same thing about, you know, I want to think back to The Phantom Menace, when I'm like, well, you know, he's just rusty. He'll get past it. He didn't get past it. Last Jedi was made concurrently with Episode 7. They were starting to film Episode 8 while they were wrapping up 7. So that made me a little weird. I mean, they must have that template Lucas gave them, and they're just like ignoring the weird midi-chlorian, whatever he threw in there. I didn't know at the time what it was. We now kind of know. Saw that movie, love parts of it, hate parts of it, you know? And it really bugs me when it's this whole like, it's a female lead is the problem. That's why guys don't like it. I'm like, fucking love Rogue One. She's a female lead. Yeah. Love Jenner. Right. Love Princess Leia. She kind of helped lead. You know what I mean? Like, she's the first person we see in Star Wars, bro. The first protagonist. Yeah. You know? Like, that's not the problem. The problem, I was like, it feels like they're making it up as they go, which was a big problem with the prequels. At least with the prequels, Lucas knew he had to get to certain points. I have to have an Anakin. Has to meet an Obi-Wan. Has to become a Jedi. Has to become Darth Vader. Has everything else. You know what I mean? Like, he knew that stuff had to happen. Obviously, he didn't really whiteboard a lot of that shit in advance. Like, then this movie came out, man. And, like, God, man. For me, it's like, it's exactly like The Dark Knight Rises or Justice League, where it's like, there's like 4 films crammed into one film. You know? Yeah. Like, they're trying to cram. And with Dark Knight Rises, he tried to use editing techniques, you know, to get around it the way he used Inception, but it doesn't work when you're using it to, like, doesn't work in The Dark Knight Rises when you're like, he goes into a pit and gets out like in a span of 7 minutes. That's not it. That doesn't work, you know? Yeah. So, you know, this movie was like, it's like, okay, there you go. You know, I'm ambivalent toward it. I don't know. I on a scale of 1 to 10, you know, parts of it could be a 7 or 8. Parts of it could be a 1. You know, I love the idea of the dead speak. There's these, you know, echoes of, you know, a Palpatine coming out of subspace, you know, like infiltrating and creating little sub-Sith cults among the Republic. Like, if they had taken these ideas and been like, maybe the movie opens up in a way to parallel Episode 4, where instead of chasing down the rebellion, this new order is chasing down the Empire. The Empire is on the run from a new order, right? Yeah. And like, and the new order is also like in defiance of the Republic. Like, there's they and I know, you know, like, Lucas never wrote this down. He made it up as he went. I know. But the problem is we live in a world now where the Lord of the Rings happened, you know, and people expect shit to be figured out before they go and film the camera, you know? Like, you're still going to have to find your movie and work on the pacing and the editing, the performances and track the arcs and the emotional resolution and all that. I get it. But fundamentally, if you don't even know where that third story is going, it's just not going to cut it anymore. It just feels like Star Wars is a fucking religion in the UK, the Jedi, right? Like, it's defined as the greatest cinematic experience you could have in a movie theater. Like, so that means you need to lead the charge.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like that's what I was watching. It felt like people trying to like wrap it up and move on. And I'm like, I just can't do it anymore. Can't do it anymore, man.
Yeah.
You know, like I just, you know, like I love the world. Star Wars is so weird. It's an amalgamation of samurai and Buck Rogers and westerns, you know, and
Right.
nods to old cinema. Like different sequences of each film come out of different movies. There are nods to The Hidden Fortress, obviously, with Episode 4. There are nods to westerns. There are nods to Gone with the Wind, which is even why, like, you know, on the poster for Empire Strikes Back, it has that nod to Gone with the Wind in the poster with Han kissing Leia. And so, like, there are sequences like Ben-Hur and The Phantom Menace. The Last Jedi has a nod to Escape from L.A. of all fucking movies. I don't know why. The Phantom Menace and The Force Awakens both have a nod to more of The Force Awakens to Close Encounters. There's a good shot in the opening of Force Awakens that's very Close Encounters like. So it's like any American invention. It's a smorgasbord. It's an amalgamation, and that's why people go, "Well, Star Wars is this, is that." No, it's all these different things, and it's hard. It's hard. Let me tell you this. Alan Moore wrote Watchmen by himself, right, Brandon?
Mm-hmm.
One guy drew it, Dave Gibbons, Tom Hutchinson. No, that's who I work. That's who I work with.
That's not right.
Higginson, something like that. I forget the colorist's name. He colored it. So one guy wrote it. The new Watchmen series comes out. It's amazing, but it takes 15 people to figure that out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like one person can write and create fire once, okay? But then it takes a group of people to work it out. You know? Like another time. So it gets harder and harder. So like I demand, yeah, I really do. If I go to a movie theater and spend fucking $50 every time I go, I demand them to figure it the fuck out.
Right.
You know? Armando says it's apparent that Kevin Feige is the only sane movie producer. Yeah, well it's his time. It's his time and place. You know? It's his time and place. And it comes off the back of having learned. He did like 13 Marvel movies as an assistant producer before he ran the MCU. He's seen Star Wars. He's seen The Lord of the Rings. And they use each film to iterate. They had bad films. Iron Man 2 step back. Thor slightly step forward. Thor 2 step back.
Mm-hmm.
They iterated. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to think. I hope, you know, for me at the end of the day, I will never watch this film again. I've seen it. There's nothing hidden in the film.
Right.
I can tell you that right now. It's as surface level as it gets. You know? And I refuse as a fan, I'll let you speak, but I refuse as a fan to sit around trying to figure out how to fix it for him. Because I did that 20 years ago. And I came up with my own little fan film that involved using the Force to manipulate water and earth and fire and wind. I wrote this fucking thing. And I was like, I don't know how I animate this. Maybe I could just do it as a storyboard. And then I realized I couldn't draw. And so I went off and learned how to draw. And then Airbender came out 4 years later. You know what I mean? So it was like, oh, yeah. You know, I wonder when I wrote that fucking thing, if the guys who conjured up Airbender were having the same thoughts. How that works. You know what I mean? Like we're all like neurally linked somehow, you know?
Right.
Like I wonder like how that with the exact if I could find the exact moment, if we were all just tapped into the same whatever, but it happened. So I don't want to do it anymore, man. Like if I got paid to do it, that I'm fine to do. But for free on my own time, I'm not doing it. You know? And I also recognize it's one of the hardest things to do. I don't think it's easy to make a Star Wars film. Because they made it on accident, you know? He had an idea, but it was a lot of different people. It was made on accident. That's why Empire was harder to make, and Lucas didn't like it. Ran over budget. He lost control. You know, it had too many different viewpoints. He wanted more of his viewpoint. And so when he made Jedi, he kind of did it easier. But what I can say with this film, what this film ultimately lacks, if you love this film or hate it, do yourself this favor. When you get done with this film, go home and just watch the first 10 minutes to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Okay, now I still think Raiders is the best indie movie, but there are moments of just establishment, geography, levity, and pacing to the first 10 minutes of The Last Crusade that this movie doesn't have in its entirety of film. There's no geography. You don't know where anyone is at any given time. You know, there's no like real breathing room in between. It's what happens when a film is made in an editing bay with quick cuts and throw this over here and cut over here and swipe over here. You know, and it's just like I'm like I don't need that. You know what I mean? Whatever that is, if you want more of it, give them your money. You know, having worked on Star Wars merchandise, I can tell you, the box office receipts, they mean something, but they really care about the merchandise sales. So if you love the movie, buy all their shit. If you don't love the movie, don't buy a thing. It's the only way they learn. And you won't see any Rise of Skywalker merch in this room. So, that's it. Anything else, Brandon? You want to add on that?
Jeez. Yeah.
I still believe the best Star Wars is in front of us. I do believe that. You know, they built 2 theme parks. They're obligated to make the shit work. You know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it wasn't like. Here's the thing. It wasn't a bad movie. I mean, I was like, okay, shit's happening, cool. You know, I wasn't like this sucks. I hated the last one. The last.
But
Jedi,
the last one has good moments. It fumbles with the first off the emotional moment of Rey handing Luke that lightsaber exists. It's played out completely different in the Last Jedi. He should have just followed through that when he takes the saber and chucks it like winks. Look, Mark Hamill has been, for the lack of a better term, hamming it in front of the camera when he does appearances. You know, for the last 30 years. His acting at the end of the film is how I wanted him to act all the way through. I don't want him like, you know, his cock knocker, you know, where he looks at the camera. Oh, yeah. God. Like, okay, that's funny in a Jay and Silent Bob movie. It's not funny in Star Wars. In Rise of Skywalker, he literally looks at the camera and goes, ha ha. You know, I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you look at the Don't look at the camera. You're not Burt Reynolds. Don't do it. You know, like.
I don't know. It was cool to, like I said, yeah, like you said, you wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't watch it again. That's why I'm not going to go back to see it in IMAX either. It wasn't bad enough for me to be like telling people not to go see it. I mean,
I will never tell people to not go see anything.
Does it give you closure to all these years of fandom though? Because I'm not a big fan like you, so I don't have like.
Well, let me tell you this. Also, being a fan of Star Wars since 1982, whatever, I've seen Star Wars end twice. It was supposed to end with Return of the Jedi, and then it was supposed to end with Revenge of the Sith. It's not ending. Not even the numerical order. They'll go off and make other movies, and then 15 years from now, Episode 10 will come out. But what they'll do is what will end is it's a trilogy.
Okay.
Because it's played out. You can't. The formula for a trilogy, there's only so much you can do, and I believe it hit its absolute zenith with the Matrix sequels. You need more films. Could you do the MCU as a trilogy? How many Avenger films have there been, bro? 4. And 5 if you count Civil War.
Right.
So the idea of a trilogy, trying to cram character depth, arc, world building in 3 films it's gone. It's over. That a long time ago. Lord of the Rings capped it. That's it.
Is that the last time we'll see the Rey characters, the Skywalker-esque?
We saw Harrison Ford in Force Awakens, right? Yeah. We'll see Daisy Ridley again, bro. Like, I guarantee it.
Well, I'm saying, okay, so where does Star Wars go from here, though? Because, like, in my mind, so, like, because I'm not a Star Wars fan, but, like, you had the Empire, right? You had that got destroyed. And then it come to find out Palpatine's still alive and he's been pulling the strings all along. Okay. So now you killed Palpatine, destroyed completely every last visible.
Brandon, you're thinking the wrong way. You're thinking like a fan.
Okay.
That's how a fan would think. It's not how this gets done. Let me tell you how this works. Okay. They're done with the numerical trilogy films. So what they're going to do right now is give themselves a lot of little wins, which is TV. So for the next 2 years, you're going to get nothing but TV. Mandalorian Season 1, Mandalorian Season 2, the Obi-Wan series, whatever else. Okay, things that don't require tons of marketing, allow them to build smaller projects with smaller budgets. You know what I mean? And then what they'll do is they'll do a one-off film. If people love it, they'll continue on that storyline. If they don't, they'll create a different storyline. It's that simple. And they'll make sure that when you go to the movie theaters to see a Star Wars movie, it'll be different than seeing it on TV. It's the only path they have forward.
I guess it's just so weird for me as a casual fan to see. It's kind of like after Thanos and the Marvel universe is like, well, shit, where do you go from there after such an insanely cosmic being?
They do a one-off character film, Black Widow, and then they do the TV stuff.
Right. But then where do you go from there?
Little wins, huh? Then they go right into what's after that? Fucking Doctor Strange. The next Spider-Man film.
Right, so it's no big world thing. It's more small.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And they won't cap it to a trilogy. It won't be part 1, 2, and 3. And it's over. Like, it could go one film, it could continue and spin off into 4 other things. But what they're going to do, and this is the benefit to this though, Brandon, is what these particular films lack is something to say. What is it saying? What is the morality tale of this trilogy? The closest to it was in Last Jedi when he says kill the past, but that doesn't really mean much. It's kind of like, let the past die, let the new. What is that? I don't even know what the fuck that means, but it's some kind of nihilistic take on life. It's not one I subscribe to. Learn from the past. Don't kill it. It doesn't even make any fucking sense. Just sort of it's a meta take on don't hold on to your fucking Star Wars arcade cabinet forever. Well, it's there. It's never leaving. So whatever. But I'm just telling you from a creative, from a production standpoint, you have to give yourself a cinematic experience and then this TV experience, and they need to be able to build crews that can develop those ideas in a place that doesn't mean everything they do is going to hinge on $1 billion. It's a big problem with Star Wars. Sort of, if every time it's like Batman suffers the same problem. If Batman doesn't make $1 billion every time they come with a Batman movie, it's going to be deemed a failure. Man of Steel came out and made fucking, how much money did that fucking thing make? Well over $500 million. And it was like, not enough. I'm like, what is enough? Right. You know what I mean? Like, chill out. Like, get out of here. So, that's what they do. But they also need to, there's a lot of things they need to do, man. But you know what? I can't solve Star Wars.
There's still probably a dark side and shit, right? Because if there's Jedi, there's the Sith. It goes hand in hand.
Yeah, all that stuff goes. Yeah, sure. Look, what you're asking for, Brandon, is someone to explain the world rules. And Lucas inherently left them vague and made them up as they went along. And they've been continuing that tradition. And we live in a world now where we demand people to say, what is this shit? If Captain America just got new powers in every fucking movie, you'd be freaking out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If in every movie, now he can grow a shield from his arm and fucking, you know what I mean? Like it talks to him and shit. And he can hear the shield powers. They need to limit and define their world a bit more, Yeah,
I guess too that with the powers thing, little inconsistencies blow my mind with that movie. These guys can do Star Wars, superhero massive leaps and bounds, but when she's climbing up a rickety thing and she's afraid she's gonna fall, I'm like, you can just Spider-Man jump your way across that shit. What are you worried about? So I don't know.
It's the X-Men thing where what are they afraid of when Professor X could just fucking kill everyone in one shot? Just kill every bad mutant.
Right.
We gotta incapacitate him. So look, it just requires smarter writing. And they have all the access to all the money and talent in the world to do it. So, they're not doing it. So that's on them. So that's it. Kind of a lackluster way to end the year. So for me. That being said, I enjoyed The Mandalorian. Someone said on the stream, I was doing the podcast with Megavisions the other day, and they were like, what do you think that it's a show about nothing? Then I'm just like, then don't fucking watch it. I don't know. You know? If it's a show about nothing, I'm enjoying a lot of the nothing. Like, whatever that means.
I think a lot of people's beef with The Mandalorian is it started off with this whole like, okay, he's being chased by these guys, and they even followed him to that planet with the village and shit. And then it seemed like the threat or the like, oh shit, he could be caught at any time. They're after him. Kind of went away for a while. Like
2 episodes, bro. Like just in a 30 minutes each. Like
no,
the thing is it's catch-22 with Star Wars, because one thing, before you get a TV show, people are like, we want a show where they can just relax and breathe. And then when they do that for 2 episodes, they're like, stop doing it, tell the story. So I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7. 4 and 5 are okay. You know?
I don't know if I watched 7.
They're okay. They're not that great. They're not that bad. I've seen worse, but whatever. So that's how I feel about it. Raymond King asked me what I thought about the Star Wars EU. I liked a lot of it, hated a lot of it. I mean, the EU, like, all they had to do, man, with these movies was pull the best parts of the EU and then create their own version of it, and they didn't.
Is that extended universe?
Extended universe. It starts with Heir of the Empire and goes all the way up to whenever Disney. I stopped reading when they killed Chewbacca. Whatever book that was in 2000, 2001. These zombie, I don't know, this other thing called the Yuvon Zong appeared and killed Chewbacca, and I just was like, I'm done with it. So for me, the real last book I read was Outbound Flight, the last 2 Zom books with Thrawn. Enjoyed those. Enjoyed the Wraith Squadron series a lot. I really enjoyed the Han Solo trilogy, which was his backstory, which they easily could have pulled for that movie. They didn't. So the Kessel Run was written much more fun. It was actually a fun thing. But like, look at this. Just think about this for a second. So in this movie, it opens up with this thing where they're doing light speed skipping, right?
Uh-huh.
They never use it again. Never comes back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what if that was something they had used in Solo to win the Kessel Run? And what if the Kessel Run had been more of an actual competition or a beer race, like beer Smoking the Bandit, or an actual race thing, or you know what I mean? And like the light speed skipping was something Lando was teaching him how to do or something. He's like, last time we did this, we almost killed ourselves. And then looking at him like, it's okay. you know, like just crazy shit. Like, and that's like, and it's that, I don't know, like, it's just shit like that they've created a universe and they're not pulling from it.
Right.
You know? And that's like, how can I had the same argument with, look, as a creator, I had this argument with Lucasfilm in a room in 2012. It was a conference call. We had the Star Wars license at Mad Engine, and the shirts weren't selling. It was just like goofy shirts, like Vader on a roller coaster with the Stormtroopers, right? And they had just done the Phantom Menace 3D re-release that tanked, and none of the merch sold. So they were asking us, well, what can you do? And I'm like, it's not for us to make your property great. I can't do anything about that. You need to make that great. You know, and look, by the way, artists generally don't speak up on those, let the art director speak, but I felt the need to be like, so one fucking time, my entire life, I'm going to be able to, you know what I mean, say something directly to the fucking mouth of Sauron, so I'm going to fucking speak. And I was like, you need to read. The Avengers just came out. They're kicking your ass. You know what I mean? Like, You don't have a new movie. If the earliest you got a movie out today, it would be 2015. That's 10 years after the last movie you came out with. You know, you need to reboot it. You need to fucking make it relevant for kids these days and make the shit fun and adventurous. And like, that will get people excited. Then they'll come and buy the shirts. We can't make Star Wars sell. You have to. We're just there to give people a piece of that to take home and wear and to be a part of, you know?
Right.
And you want to give them a quality thing, not a generic fucking corporate driven thing. That's all we have to do, is not get in the way of the thing you make great. We can't make your shit great. I didn't say shit to them, but you catch my point, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I literally was like, just reboot the movie, you know? It was the funniest fucking thing, dude. They did everything I said. They weren't listening to me, but I said it, you know? And it was the funniest. So whatever. And I feel now it's like the same thing. They need a writer's room. They need to put together arcs and Marvel has a story development program where they hire writers and they put treatments together for things they never even shoot. So I guarantee you that this idea for like the Scarlet Witch show, where it's part 50's serial thing and also an MCU, probably came from one of those weird pitches that they have internally. They need that, a story department just generating. They need to also embrace all the shit they already own. First thing I learned in t-shirts was you don't have to create a new package. You can go to the archives and pull old art and remix it. So pull the best storylines from all these old books and comics and stuff. Stop saying the comics are canon. Let the comics be a training ground to develop ideas that could end up in the films. It's a bad move, man. You need a place to... You don't go and say the entire... Imagine if Marvel said, every comic is now MCU canon.
Right.
And by the way, we're stopping all the current books and starting over only from this point in the movie. You'd revolt, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's bullshit. It's not that they didn't exist. We all know the comic book movies, the comic book material and the books are their own weird continuity that doesn't always line up and doesn't affect the films. But you need a place to experiment, then pull from that stuff and make into a film. You know? The best of the same. That's what Marvel does, you know? Successfully. I mean, this was the year, dude. Endgame kicked this shit out of Star Wars. Star Wars is not going to make more money than Endgame. And the last film in any series does more than the other two. When it comes to Star Wars, always has. You know? Except for Revenge of the Sith. It went down and down and down. Like Jedi made way more money than the other films. And that's why he was like, well, everyone hated Jedi, but Jedi was the most successful. You know what I mean? We were dumb! We were naive. I was there.
Yeah.
I was there, Gandalf, 3,000 years ago, you know? So, but I'm an optimistic dude. The best Star Wars yet to come. You know? I wish they'd make a Han Solo series, the storyline. Remember Carlos Maglia did that Star Wars Underworld comic?
Mm-hmm.
I wish they'd make that and adapt that into a Disney Plus series. It was fun. It was a fun series. Yeah. Had Jawas and twists and turns and Boba Fett, and it was fun. Yeah. I wish more of the comics were fun like that, not so fucking serious. Their shit's like they take their shit so serious. You know, it's like when a band or a musician starts to take their shit too serious.
Yeah. You
know, and you're like, like they start dressing up in silver. You know, you know. And start calling themselves God. It's kind of a problem, you know? Oh. But man, my big wake-up call was in 99 when I thought The Phantom Menace was going to be the greatest thing ever. And then this fucking movie I had no interest in called The Matrix came out. I had no interest in this. I was like, fuck that trailer. I don't care. Johnny Mnemonic. Didn't give a shit about Cyberpunk. Wasn't my thing. I was in the Army. Had nothing better to do. Walked in the theater. Oh, fucking watch this movie. Mind blown. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, so. There you go. All right, Brandon. Is there anything else? Someone had a question. Do I have any freelance work that I'm working on now? Yes. Yes, I do. And I can't talk about it. I get paid good money to not talk about it. So I won't. But this is the last show of the year. We will see you on the other side of 2020. I will let you know. So what do we got coming up? We got Artwise. Commissions are going to be on the weekends. So that's happening. This week I'll be streaming, not tomorrow or Christmas Day because my wife will kill me if I work. I will be streaming Megavision, so we'll be wrapping up Megavision's issue 9 this week and into next week. And that involves a TMNT piece, the virtual on cover, and then some interior stuff we're going to wrap up. And then into 2020, we'll be doing Game Cave, the comic regularly as well. So I have about the first 3 to 4 hours of my day will be working on that, and then I'll be doing my freelance. So I'll be streaming as much of that as I can. So I will have a regular stream schedule for that as I feel fit to do it. I want to make sure that the streams aren't dragging out that process. If it looks like making Game Cave live doesn't work, I'll record it on my end and then put them together for uploads, and then just stream the commissions. I will always stream the commissions. So the commissions will be streamed always. So
right,
that's coming.
Yeah.
And Brandon may or may not actually finish a comic ever.
So I want to preface this. I will be posting some. Basically, I took the first episode of Rick and Morty and just took the first part of the show and just kind of tried drawing it their style, and also with help from Rob, trying to elaborate on certain things that he's showed me before and style and such. So I'll be posting what I've done, and there's going to be a couple panels where you're like, that looks just like the show. Yes, I get it. It looks like what I did. I looked at the episodes, screenshots, and I tried redrawing them as close as I could to get the whole feel of the Rick and Morty because of something me and Rob are going to work on. So I know I'm going to hear a lot of shit like, oh, you just redrawn Rick and Morty. Yes, that was the point. The point was to draw Rick and Morty and also get an idea of how they color things, how their art style, how they tell a story, because Rob is going to have me tell a story, and the Rick and Morty style and the world, how that is, fits with what we're trying to do.
Someday.
Also, our dungeon thing will be done as well.
Yeah, I got to figure out a good timeline for that because I'm a little kickstarted out right now.
All right,
we gotta talk about when a good release for that. If I jump right into another one, I'll fucking dry my. I can't do it. I got a little PTSKD, you know, post traumatic PTKSD.
I'll be in broke a little longer. I guess
it'll be a little bit longer, but you got to bear with me, Brandon. You know, underwriting a $13,000 check will tear the fun out of it. You know what I mean? So we will definitely get to that.
Where else do I have to go? Where else am I gonna go?
Right. Where else are you gonna go? Like, what else do you have to do?
Right. I got nothing.
It's sitting there. All right. I want you all to have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Christmas, whatever you celebrate. Don't celebrate.
Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Feliz
Festivus.
Navidad.
Merry Festivus. That's what I celebrate.
Merry Tatermas.
And I will see you all again in 2015. Well, 2015. Jesus,
Rob. And I'm the one fucking up tonight?
To be fair, I've had a whole cup of wine. What's your excuse? What's your excuse?
Shout out to my Letterkenny fans with that one. To be fair.
Actually, I'll see you guys all literally in 2 days when I'm streaming Megavision. So if you want to join in there. And if you want to support the show, there's links. You go to Ko-fi.com/SketchCraft. You can tip me a coffee. You got the Streamlabs link. You can always donate there. Throw in a few bucks, buy Rob a coffee. Appreciate it. Tell you all later. See you. Goodbye, Brandon.
Bye, Brandon.